The civil aviation industry will experience a huge increase in the coming decades. The only problem is that if scientists do not find radical solutions, this increase will be accompanied by a huge increase in the emissions of pollution from these aircraft. Therefore, the dilemma facing those in charge of this industry now is how to develop civil aircraft types to become more sustainable. Scientists hope that by 2050, aircraft will be completely electronic and without harmful emissions and will be electrified from sustainable plants. Does this perception seem very futuristic to you? Do you think it is possible? Without a doubt, planet Earth would be happy if scientists had access to this technology. Let's take a look at the types of civilian aircraft expected in the future. The electronic plane. Electronic propulsion is expected to occupy a large place in the aviation industry in the future. Electronic aviation may even take over the short-haul aviation sector entirely over the next few decades. Currently, this design is only present in some experimental models. But as we all know, technology moves in rapid jumps rather than slow pace. Having smaller electronic motors will allow for better gear thrust, the lower noise level and lower operating costs of these aircraft and their fuel-powered counterparts will allow them to fly within cities. Most of the electronic aircraft projects currently being studied are planning to provide plane transportation within cities. The idea of a flying taxi may be closer than you think. The plane with autopilot. By observing the current rate of growth in the aviation industry, it is expected that the global aviation sector will need about 600,000 pilots over the next 20 years. These numbers will double in the following decades. These numbers seem much higher than the number of pilots expected to be available in the coming years. And therefore some modern design ideas depend on having a single human pilot in the plane and relying on autopilot instead of co-pilot. But that depends heavily on the development of the artificial intelligence sector along with the development of the aviation industry. A plane without windows. Windows or no windows. This dilemma is difficult in the construction of future civilian aircraft. For example, Boeing has designed an aircraft that blends the wing with the fuselage in a unique model called a flying wing. The problem with such a design is that it does not have any windows. Some suggest displaying images on the plane's walls from the inside and simulated windows to provide a better travel experience for passengers. But this matter is still being studied in the aviation industry and has not yet been resolved. A plane without a tail. When electronic aircraft become a reality, the next step is to create a propulsion engine that can provide adequate thrust for the aircraft in any direction. Then the tail of the plane will become an unnecessary extra. This change will be drastic as the existing tail adds massive mass and extra weight to the aircraft. Supersonic plane. The aviation industry thought it unacceptable that supersonic flight was available to people 20 years ago, but it is not available now. So scientists are working to solve this and provide the types of civil aircraft that can fly faster than sound. Boom Supersonic, a company funded by many global investors, is developing a civilian aircraft that can fly at Mach 2.2 speeds at a cost less than Concorde. Some ambitious research programs are also studying the idea of hypersonic much supersonic aircraft. But none of these programs has reached the actual development stage for such an aircraft.